The SEC on ESPN. And two teams going in opposite directions. Georgia trying to get right. The Dogs have lost 5 out of 6. Meanwhile, Kentucky has found its footing. Cats winners of 8 of their last 10. And despite the loss of Florida this weekend, Cats right in the thick of things. 1 game out of second place. John Calipari's Razorbacks sitting there at 9-3. Remember, top 4 get a double bye in the SEC tournament. Lead the country in fast break points. And talking to Mike White at shoot-around today, is there any reluctance to run in Rupp? He said, absolutely not. We're going to push it all night. Moreno, high percentage look, throws it down.
And you see how quickly Oweh gets to the rim.
Find your teammate, whether that be for a dunk or for the 3. Colin Chandler with the shake. Here's Oweh in the corner. And found every bit of the rim before falling. He's only a 33% three-point shooter. Oklahoma, first ever visit to Lloyd Noble. Lost that one 94-78. They shot 71% in the first half. They were on fire, just like the popcorn machine. Here's Aberdeen with the floater. Mike White had 16 points and 6 assists. Valentine's Day at 98 in this building. That was an Ole Miss win. It was also the last loss of the season for Mark Pope's Cats. There's Chandler from straightaway 3. Kentucky would go on to win their.
That's a really big shot by Wilkins. Oweh misses the bunny on one end. And he goes right back at the rim. Golly, is he explosive.
It's 5 for Otega Oweh. Georgia hanging around, 1 possession game.
Georgia wants to play fast, and Kentucky's okay with that too. You see how quickly they got the ball out of the net. They want to push tempo as well.
Oweh straight away. Got it. Guarded by the freshman who took advantage.
Oweh is playing with so much confidence right now.
Johnson getting some extended minutes here tonight. Runs into a shot blocker and finds Noah in the corner. Back to Johnson. Floater. Got it.
I like the way he's playing in the first half. Based on what we saw at shoot-around, Mark Pope preached, make that extra pass, get in the paint, use your pivot work.
First field goal for Blue Cane tonight. Aberdeen dumps it off. Yelovich a jam.
She realized real quick she needed to get out of this business, get into coaching.
I've driven a lot of good people back to coaching, Dave. You coaching 8th graders. Chandler, another 3 for Captain Clutch, Colin Chandler. Have a scooter today at shoot-around. He was wearing tennis shoes instead of a boot, so there's a chance he comes back, but it's a much different team for Kentucky than what they thought they were going to have at the beginning of the season. They knew they'd have that man and double zeros back at it again.
This Kentucky team is in rhythm. You talked about the injuries, and that, well, the way that season ended, a lot of people thought, oh man, that kid can't be one of the top picks in the draft. Well, yes, he is, and what a performance he's having at the next level.
Oweh blows right by everybody and reverses it in. He's into double figures already.
And they bring the help over, and he just steps through and makes an athletic play.
Georgia playing very physical on the defensive end. Surreal is all over Moreno. Aberdeen from 13 feet, good.
There you go. The paint points have been good to Kentucky, and remember, if you miss, you have a great chance at the offensive rebound going up against the league's worst defensive rebounding team.
Well, Seth asked for it, and for the most part, it's starters back on the floor for Kentucky. In fact, all 5. Millender. Yelovich goes right over the top of him and is able to finish inside. 6'11" sophomore from Zagreb, Croatia. Georgia adds to its lead, largest of the game.
I love that play call from Mike White. Catchings has been struggling, so they draw him up a play to get him an open look.
Oweh answers with the 3 in transition.
And I know Aberdeen's open, but I'd still like to see Kentucky turn one down. I think this game can be won if they'll create some inside shots, which at worst will lead to some inside rebounds.
Colin Chandler says, Dane Bradshaw, shut your dirty mouth.
That's probably the 4th time this year I think Chandler's done that to me.
10 for 17 from 2. Oweh. Great. Drains it. He's got 18. They don't look like good shots, and then they go in.
For your first shot defense, the concern is, can you finish that possession? And so you've just got to try to man up and keep bigger guys off the glass.
Away off the glass and in. Another 20-point game for Otega Oweh, and that is the third of it up.
And Kentucky got lost defensively. Good penetration, and that's what happens when you can penetrate, draw an extra defender, and then kick out.
Oweh downhill, off the glass again, and he's fouled again. Aberdeen goes baseline around James. Freshman can't knock it down. Garrison kept it alive. Another chance for Jasper Johnson. And he makes good on the mulligan. First three of the night. He's 4 for his last 7 from deep. What a pass by Wilkins. And Wilkinson, no. Tipped out to Oweh. Mike White can't believe there wasn't a foul called. Here's Chandler. He is red hot from deep. 4 for 5 from 3, and we got a 1-point game. Meanwhile, Kentucky hasn't scored in approaching 3 minutes. Mike White told his team, Rupp will get quiet when we go on a run, and that is the case right now.
And that's just better offense. Good job by Catchings, just staying in front of Oweh, forcing the mid-range pull-up.
Was February of 09, year 2 of the Billy Gillispie era. Kentucky has won 12 straight here in this building against the Bulldogs. Chandler stays high.
When you need a big one, he's your man. And holding that #1 ranking pretty well, huh? I mean, had that Purdue victory by 11, up 20 at one point.
They've now won 6 in a row by double digits. There's Denzel Aberdeen, first bucket of the himself. 1 as a point guard at Ole Miss in '98, and then 2 with the Florida Gators as their head coach. Moreno lost Millender and gets it to roll home. Preston and Wilkinson finishes the drive.
Well, Kentucky started that possession end zone, threw Georgia off a little bit.
You just expect every one of his to go in now. 18 for Chandler on 6 threes. Kentucky led this game by 8 twice in the first half. Georgia stuck with it and went to work. That one's off the top of the backboard. Wilkinson said, I got hit in the face. How did I get a foul in there? Chandler with the steal. Here's Otega Oweh ahead of the pack. And the jam and a foul. Colin Chandler had the steal to stir the comeback at Tennessee, and here he is again.
Himself open.
Cats down 9. Aberdeen. Huge over Surreal. 5 of their last 6.
Got to find a way to get Oweh the ball, especially if he can get going downhill.
Aberdeen step through foul. And he's going to line for a pair.
Is all you want, but there's nothing like the real thing. And Kentucky on this next defensive possession is going to have the best crowd noise they could ever imagine.
Left it short. And the rebound's kicked out of bounds by Georgia. Millender and Surreal both went after it. Neither could secure it. For 3. Only his second miss from deep tonight, but another offensive rebound. Down 5. Aberdeen gets it right back. Hesitated, left it short, and a foul charge to Wilkinson. Denzel Aberdeen going to the line for 3 with 2:13 to play. Kentucky has come back this season against St. John's, Mississippi State, Tennessee twice, and LSU. With 9:20 to play, the Cats trailed by 12. Aberdeen's got another one coming. We've got a 1-possession game at Rupp Arena. Kane strong to the hoop, rejected by Garrison. Ketchings doesn't know where to go with it. Picked up by Olway. 3 on the shot clock. Millender's got to get it up. Step back threes and air ball. And Kentucky gets the stop.
And they denied Millender the ball. As soon as it came in, Aberdeen.
Into the backcourt for Otega-Oweh. Oweh trying to get to the rim, lost it off of his leg and out of bounds to Georgia.
Got sped up there and a little bit out of control.
Away on Diabate. The deficit is 5. Home crowd wants him to hurry. Aberdeen. No good. Rebound to Georgia. Oweh tried to fight for it, lost it out of bounds.
And Millender did a terrific job there.
Cats haven't made a field goal in 2.5 minutes. Kentucky came into this game having won 8 of its last 10. Georgia had lost 5 out of 6. Short. Garrison the rebound. Cats trail by 6. Here's Aberdeen. They slack off of him, nearly walked with it. Chandler from deep. And Blue Cane with the rebound. Georgia is going to leave Lexington with its 5th win ever in this building. Noah couldn't foul Millender. They finally get to him with 6.3.
But I thought they did a good job, despite giving up 78 points, of figuring out a way to have, you know what? It's tough for us to defend your bigger lineup at times, but you got to defend our quick guards as well.
Aberdeen last gasp over the backboard, and Georgia will leave Lexington with a W. First win in this building since 2009 for the Bulldogs, just their 5th win all time. 162nd meeting between Georgia and Kentucky goes to the Bulldogs. Kentucky will try to have to regroup in front of a hostile crowd at Auburn on Saturday night on ESPN. Blue Cane gave the Dogs 20. Wilkinson returns with 19. And the Bulldogs get an 8-point win. That'll do it from here in Rupp. For Dane Bradshaw, fantastic crew, I'm Tom Hart.